Hey everybody, Drew here for Drew Underground here on YouTube.com, back with another episode of Breaking Rocks, or our Breaking Rocks stream, or whatever the hell you want to call it these days. As you guys see by the title and the thumbnail, is this the... I don't think this is the first time we've done a birthday stream with you, is it, bro?
No, probably not.
Yeah, because I feel like we did one of these like previously, like on Underground Gaming at one point, right?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't losing my mind because as soon as I got home from work, I'm like, I feel like we've done this before. But anyway,
Yeah, we have.
which means I probably did tell this story last year about
Sure, this isn't the first
witnessing
time
your
you
birth.
discussed this.
Yeah, on
This
stream.
isn't the first time you discussed it.
On stream even. So I don't really think I need to tell the story again at that point.
Probably not. No.
But to sum it up, I prayed to God about a year before Desert Nord was born, and Desert Nord, well, Mom gave birth to this guy 32 years ago today, and that's arguably the only prayer that I can remember that God ever actually granted to me was Desert Nord being born. So in my in my little universe, Rob, you actually are a gift from God in my world.
Yeah.
In every sense of the fucking word. I asked God for you, and here you are. 32,
Yeah, well,
32 years ago today. So happy birthday, bro.
Yeah. Just thanks, bro.
Yeah. But as we discussed off the thing, you obviously aren't going to have any memories of your fucking birth.
No. It's not really something many people have. So
yeah, for me in my life, my earliest memory was my third birthday was at grandma's house in the backyard in Chicago, and that's grandma on our mom's side. The cake was white with sprinkles around the crust or whatever it was, and the candle was in the shape of a number 3. So that was my earliest memory, was my third birthday in Chicago. What would be your earliest memory that you can think of?
Well, earliest memories is the sensation of having taken a bath, getting out of a bath. Now, whether or not that's actually the first time I felt that was when I was born or not, I don't remember that part, but
There's
my first
a good chance that could have been because you were born underwater. So that's possible. But I do know from that evening in November, 32 years ago, you came out. I saw you for the first time, and they immediately rushed you and Mom to the hospital, and Dad went with. So I stayed at the house of Grandma, while our sister was at Grandma's house with our uncle the entire time. And I don't remember how long you guys were at the hospital for. That part I don't remember whatsoever.
Pretty sure it was a couple of days, according to what Mom had stated.
Yeah, I'm willing to believe it because I don't remember
emergency surgery.
Yeah, because you were born with your spine sticking out. Yeah.
Layman way of putting it. Sure.
Yeah. Well, it is spina bifida, so. But as it is.
Yeah. But yeah. Fantastic story.
But either way, there are bigger. Your birthday is pretty big as it is. It's very important, at least to certain people.
Oh yeah.
But there are bigger things to society than just your birthday that we do need to talk about on stream.
Sure, there's been other news, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Between Chapek getting shot out of a cannon at Disney and seemingly loading the cannon with help of whoever runs fucking Disney behind the scenes.
Help loading the cannon.
And pulling the trigger seemingly was Bob Iger.
Yeah.
And Disney bringing Andor, according to reports, to FX, ABC, and Hulu soon. Or at least like 2 episodes or something like that to test the waters to see if anyone's going to watch it on cable TV. In the case of ABC, at least I think that means that that's cable. I know that Hulu is a streaming service that I've never fucking used and I don't care to. And secondly, I don't exactly have a ton of money anyway. And thirdly, I'm moving to fucking Arizona in the spring, so fuck Hulu. Anyway.
Yeah.
We'll also be talking about the fact that Trump announced that he's running for president. I know that was like a few weeks ago, but we haven't done this for a while. Again. And finally, we'll wrap up ranting at clearly the NFL does not give a shit about its integrity with their officials actually doing their fucking job right. They did their job right with one call in the Thanksgiving night game between the Patriots and Vikings. Then they reviewed the replay and then decided to fuck it up just like that, like a Thanos snap. Yeah, and we'll get into all of that in a minute. But first, your thoughts on Chapek, Iger, and Disney's malfunction of their fucking books and lying about how much money they've made on Disney Plus.
Well, Disney, as a corporation, has been on my shit list for a while now.
When did they go on your shit list? Is the question here.
Somewhere in the mid 2000s, when they stopped making films for the sake of entertainment and started making them for messaging and political activism. And then they started engaging in actual fundraising for political campaigns and started opposing candidates and doing things to involve themselves in shit they should have nothing to do with.
For me, it was The Last Jedi.
And then they started making downright, basically, fuck you movies like that one, where you're a fan of something, but you're about to be told you're a piece of shit by the creators of said film.
Yeah.
Oh, and all you did was you paid for a ticket, which you think would be a nice thing to do for the creators of a film. But no, they fucking hate you, and they want you to know that. You who bought the ticket to see their film.
And speaking of things that, according to reviews that I've heard, Andor is actually kind of okay. But Star Wars fans have been so alienated, so ticked off by Disney and their treatment by them, being told that you're istphobe, this, that, the other thing, go fuck yourself, because we don't want your money, because we want all these new fans. Disney, where are all your new fans? Because apparently they don't exist if you're bringing Andor to FX, ABC, and Hulu soon.
That's the thing, though. They do want your money, but they want you to be so stupid about it that you don't pay any attention to the fact that they're telling you you need to change, you evil bastard, you. You need to be different. You need to get better because what you've been doing is bad. And we're going to preach to you about how bad you've been. And you need to change, buddy. You know, we're trying to change the world with our filmmaking, and it's like our filmmaking is nothing but an FU. In the case of most of what they do nowadays, most of their films with fandoms, those rare ones that do have fandoms, they basically make them for themselves. They don't even make them for the fans anymore. They don't make them to satisfy fans. They make them to satisfy themselves.
Yeah. Quite.
And I fail to see how that's even ethical, let alone good.
Here's the problem from my point of view.
Here's the thing, bro. Disney is a company that for quite some time now has been mismanaged, poorly run, and being driven into the side of a freaking mountain. And it's finally hit the mountain. And it's becoming apparent that the management of this company doesn't deserve anything they've been given. And now it's starting to slip away.
In my opinion, Disney flying into the side of a mountain would be an improvement.
Yeah, well. frankly, them flying into the side of a mountain, and if they end up going away or being bought out or something, I would be like, and that's exactly what happens to you when you do this.
But also, when you support, what are the words I'm looking for without getting banned off YouTube? Support a party who has a history, like in the Civil War, of supporting things like, while it was true that the South was defending states' rights, that's true, but they were also defending slavery. That was the Democratic Party in the South at the time.
My point, though, aside from getting into American history
Yeah.
too much, my point here is that the company, while everyone in the company is entitled to their individual opinions, they have to remember that if you're going to make a movie, okay, with a pre-existing plot, a pre-existing lore, a pre-existing narrative, you can't then change the narrative to something completely irrelevant and then pretend the fans are supposed to just sit there and think, oh yeah, this completely irrelevant narrative that totally ignores everything I would expect from a film like this. That's fine. I didn't expect anything good out of this. I expected something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how fandom works, but that's how they think it works, apparently. And it's been costing them millions and millions ever since they started doing
it. Yeah. Disney has had a long history of subverting expectations. But I know someone who not only does not subvert your expectations, does exactly what you think he's going to do. And you know who I'm talking about, right?
Well, sure.
Because he's the next topic. Donald Trump has announced that he's running in 2024, which surprises fucking nobody. Great. The fucking thing disconnected again. Give me a minute, folks. Let's hope it works this time.
It's going to keep doing that, I have a feeling.
Yeah, because you're the one selected offline.
Yeah, but that's not got anything to do with your connection.
Well, normally it doesn't do it as much when you're online, I'm just saying. Or when you appear online.
It's done this exact same thing before.
3 times and twice while we're live.
Yeah, it has done this before.
Anyway.
But my connection and your connection is the only issue here. But what I was going to say is that with the Bob Chapek, Bob Iger situation, I don't quite understand what the real basis here is, because while I'm hearing that Chapek got fired because he didn't want to go along with like activist narratives and woke shit.
Well, while you're hearing that, I'm hearing that he was intended to be the fall guy when the proverbial shit hit the fan economically for Disney.
Yeah, well,
which is where we're at.
But whether or not that either one of those is true, their decision to bring Iger back in
was the wrong decision.
I'm trying to figure out how either one of these men fit either one of those two narratives, because Iger's not going to solve anything economically, and Chapek is not like some big opponent of wokeness. He's one of them too.
Because the rumor that I got is Iger came back to try to like fix financially whatever at Disney to try to make them profitable enough to at least make something on selling the company to, I guess, Apple is the rumor.
Sure, yeah. There's talk of some kind of merger or sale or something.
Yeah. Which I don't think Apple is the best idea, but what the fuck do I know? I'm just an idiot on YouTube talking about things from my point of view, like living paycheck to paycheck point of view.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know, right?
Disney has cost itself a lot of money. In fact,
Yes,
it's
I
been
have.
pretty much economic devastation over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Between making shitty bomb ass movies that don't get anyone in the seats, and losing streams because they keep making streaming shows no one wants to watch, and basically alienating their entire base, and also supporting grooming and all sorts of other negative shit they've done.
Yeah.
Even
though we're not allowed to say that on YouTube, I'm just saying.
Yeah, ha ha ha. I'm going to anyway.
I personally don't care. I'm just saying we're not allowed
to. They've screwed the pooch 6 ways to Sunday, and I don't see how they think they have a future going unless they completely pull the Yui. There's no way they can go on doing everything they've been doing and stay in business. Eventually, the economics catches up to you, and you can fuck around when you've got a huge cushion like they had, a huge cushion of popularity, a huge cushion of money, a huge cushion of everything.
But
you
if
can fuck
you
around quite a bit,
fuck
but you can't keep fucking around when you start losing money.
Yeah, you can fuck around, but if that fucking around costs you fucking everything, is it really worth fucking around then?
No, they were telling themselves, "Oh, we're heroic because we're blowing money and we're losing money for the company, but we're doing it for a good cause." They were telling themselves this.
Oh yeah,
and
it's a good cause to put yourself out of work. Yeah, it's a great cause.
Well, no, their cause is wokeness. Their cause is activist politics and wokeness. That's their cause. They feel like sacrificing company funds, making woke projects was the way to go because it's quote unquote virtuous in their mind.
Considering that that's their cause, yeah, it is a great cause because that cause is going to lead them to going out of business and therefore having to sell Star Wars. Hopefully to a company that actually knows what the fuck Star Wars is, but which is just which it seems to be a lot of other companies out there know actually what Star Wars is. Anyway,
so long as they don't have the likes of Kathleen Kennedy involved, they can have success.
Yeah, that's true too.
But of course, they seem to be addicted to that.
Kind of like the mainstream media addicted to our next topic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is Donald Trump, as I was trying to get into before the party cut out earlier. Trump has announced that he's running in 2024, which surprises absolutely nobody. Because we knew he was running the entire fucking time.
Sure, and people in the know already understood he wasn't going to announce that until after the midterms.
Which I completely understand.
Everybody knew that.
Yeah.
Everybody understood the metrics of all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what happened. He didn't announce until after the midterms.
But now there's a new dynamic that's being discussed, like with Jim Norton on Gutfeld recently, because he brought this up, and I think it is an interesting point. That how likely is it, do you think, that the Democrats, the Republicans are actually going to go ahead and renominate Trump again for their party?
Well,
at this point,
the party's establishment pretty much hates him more than some of the Democrats even.
Yeah.
And so they're not keen. The establishment is not keen on letting that happen. And they would very much love to find anything and anyone or any human being that can fill in the gap. Make sure they don't have that.
Picture this fucked up scenario in 2024, right? Obviously, as it stands right now, the Democrat nominee being Joe Biden, obviously, right?
Well, that's the way they're going with it. He wants to run. No one's telling him no, so.
The Republican nominee being, goddamn, what's her face from the Jan 6th committee? Republican,
You're talking about Liz?
Liz Cheney, yeah. Republican nominee. Trump being independent nominee. That's a distinct
Yeah,
possibility
well,
because we know the establishment loved Cheney, even though she's actually like Democrat in Republican clothing. But I digress.
well, you've got a couple of establishment narrative possibilities. Okay,
Yeah.
somebody who is one of the establishment Republicans, who basically will provide the "I'm not like him, I am better," that type of thing.
And then you have
They'll give you
crusty
this
old
narrative.
Joe. Yeah.
They'll give this narrative of, oh, he's like damaged goods or something. All right, that's their little narrative, right?
Yeah.
And we're saying whatever phrase they want to go with. This idea that the establishment Republicans are sane versus Trump not being sane. It's like, okay. Trouble with that is that they know they don't have a popularity. The establishment of the Republican Party knows they do not have a popularity to win any national contest anywhere. And the only thing they have going for them is a lot of money.
So this
you
is
do a lot in politics with a lot of money, but you can't do a lot in politics with no support.
Yes.
So
this is the way I see this could play out in this three-person scenario. Cheney is the Republican Party nominee for president. God help their souls. Trump stays in it as an independent, no party affiliation whatsoever, and is still on the ticket to be president. And then Biden or whoever the fuck the Democrats are going to have if Joe's not around anymore. Harris. But
they would probably.
But it's irrelevant.
Like Gavin Newsom.
Well, let's just say for the argument's sake, it's Cheney, Trump, and Biden. Okay. In this scenario, I could conceive of Trump supporters leaving the Republican Party to vote for Trump as an independent. You?
What was it? Oh, it cut out.
Sorry. In this scenario, I could see Trump's supporters who voted Republican last time for him leaving the Republican Party to vote independent for him as an independent.
Sure, yeah.
In this scenario.
Many Republicans.
Millions upon millions of people would.
In comments and in other forums have stated that, it's you either support this man or we're out.
Yeah.
And so that's a common situation among many people in the base.
And then I could see like some independents who are like, I'm never gonna, like me, I would never vote for Trump as a Republican. If he's an independent, I wouldn't just consider it. I would at that point.
Well, my point here, okay, and I've made this point before, is that you have trouble any which way you go at this point. Okay. The trouble with the current
what?
Okay. They wouldn't like that anyway. So they're going to stand against that right off the bat.
Okay.
And so what do you do with that situation? They're going to try and deprive their own candidate of money. I mean, it's like, when have you ever seen a political party do this shit? You've never seen a political party do this shit to itself. They wouldn't normally do this. The Democratic Party has never done this to itself that I know of. They've never sat there and said, oh, well, we're going to nominate a guy, but we hate him. Like, that's never happened among Democrats. Now, the base is a different story for the left. The base of the left, some of them are a little, far off enough to be mad about who the Democrat candidates are, but still they go to the polls and they vote for them anyway.
I got a new follower on Twitter. Someone named Blade Wolf.
Because they're scared shitless of the other one. Because they're told to be.
Yeah.
My point, though, about the possible circumstances here
Yeah.
is that if you have Trump running as an independent,
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of people who don't vote independent.
True.
And I mean, when I say a lot of people, I'm talking tens of millions
True.
who will never vote independent no matter what because they're party aligned.
The real problem would come in for me that if it's not Liz Cheney that gets nominated, but instead someone like Ron DeSantis, then obviously it's more likely that Biden would get reelected because you'd be splitting the vote between Trump and DeSantis.
Sure, at that point, whatever the Democrat is, he'd win because you're splitting all the Republicans in half.
Yeah, exactly. So the best case scenario is Trump needs to be nominated by the Republican Party at this point. That's the best case scenario here.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's the only scenario where the Republicans win the presidency again.
Yeah, because if they are like, no, we don't want Trump, well, then you might as well just declare Biden president for a second term at that point, then, for the most part.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, it's going to be a bumpy ride, I figure.
Go
watching it all play out.
Going into November of 2024. But yeah. Speaking of bumpy fucking rides, the governor race in your state of Arizona.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Yeah, you mean the governor court case now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no longer an election now. It's
between
just a court case now.
Between the Secretary of Defense or whatever the fuck she is?
No. She was the Secretary of State of Arizona.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, running governor.
The Secretary of the State of Arizona overseeing her own election to try to become governor, which isn't corrupt at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we're not supposed to say that that's in any way regarding suspicion whatsoever.
I never said anything. I never said it was corrupt. I was saying that it wasn't corrupt at all. Wink, wink.
Uh-huh.
And voting printers going down or whatever the fuck they're called in Maricopa.
Well, we had several problems. The first problem we had was the printing process. With the printing machines, the printers not working correctly in dozens of locations.
Apparently, Arizona not good at figuring out to tell who knows how to count past 3 to count the votes.
The other thing was that in almost 25%, I believe it was 23% of all precincts had counter issues with counting machines.
Yeah.
That's a large percentage of the state's counting machines going kittywampus on day up.
And each and every time it's 99 times of 100 in the favor of the Democrats, which isn't corrupt at all.
Sure, yeah, no.
It's perfectly legit.
If this situation had led the Democrat to lose, the Democrat would be in court just like the Republican is right now.
Yeah.
And we all know that.
So, the big question
is it really so hard for us to get our old style of doing elections back? The one we used to use? That really so hard, guys?
You mean legal?
No. I mean, where we did day of elections, we counted ballots in a relatively orderly, relatively neat, and relatively straightforward manner, and we got our damn decision and our counting done the day of. We used to do that election after election after election after election. Now it's a problem. Now it's something we're not doing anymore. Now we're having these week-long events where who fucking knows whether all the ballots are counted, who fucking knows what ballots were counted, who knows what are getting shredded, who knows where the ballots are even coming from, who knows if there's illegals voting, who knows what the hell's going on. And who knows if the winner is actually really the winner. That's the important thing we don't know anymore.
To translate for those watching after the fact, because no one's watching this live, to translate everything that Noah just said, he still just said legal. I simplify what this man says, anyway.
Yeah, my point was...
And it's saying the exact same damn thing, anyway.
This is something that humanity has been doing for more than 2,000 years. Okay,
Fucking each other in the
having
ass? Yeah.
having what you call elections. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There are some nations that didn't do it. There are plenty of nations that have corrupted it. There are plenty of nations that abandoned it. There are plenty of nations that set up puppet regimes and pretended to have elections when it was really just a rubber stamp for their tyranny. There's plenty of that that's going on.
Fucking each
But
other.
the concept,
Yeah.
but the concept of having one, where you ask as many people within the district where the decisions are being made what they feel or who they think should be the winner of or the leader at the end of the day. So long as we've been doing that, it has never been this fucked up than it is now. It's never been more fucked up than this.
You say recall election. I say fucking each other in the ass. Tomato, tomato.
I didn't say recall election, but I said it's never been more fucked up than it is now. The election process.
Tomato, tomato. Anyway.
And people have to make a decision how they want to process what they keep witnessing. Now, I personally, I'm of the mind that a win is not always a win. When a win it looks bad, it's just the same as in a sports game when you win a game by pulling bullshit. People don't like you. It's the Tom Brady effect, so to speak.
At first, I thought you were segueing right into the final topic of the Thanksgiving night game between the Patriots and the Vikings. Because that fits exactly perfectly.
Yeah. But when you win by dubious means, or when you win and everyone's like, well, that was BS, you might as well have not won because you end up looking bad despite winning.
Yeah, for example.
And looking bad is about as bad as losing.
Roger Goodell looks bad now. The referee organization of the NFL looks bad. And now the Minnesota Vikings look bad because they won the fucking game.
Basically, it's like this. If you won but you look bad doing it, did you really win it? Is the question I always ask.
To those that will ask in the comments, yes, we're going to get to exactly what happened if you guys did not watch the third game on Thanksgiving night on Thursday. The Patriots took on the Vikings in Minneapolis, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense with the fucking corrupt referees because they were in Minneapolis. The tight end Henry caught a pass, broke the goal line with the ball, but when he landed, fumbled the ball like just ever so slightly, but he still maintained possession of it the entire time. On the field, it was ruled a touchdown by the referees. Then they went to review it and then overturned it. A legitimate fucking touchdown got overturned in Minneapolis. Now, as if that wasn't bad enough, after the fact, NFL officials came out and said that was the right call based on the rules in the game that you have to survive the ground to complete the catch. Meanwhile, that rule was removed from the rule book post the 2018 season because of all of this type of fuck-uppery. Mm-hmm. In other words, the NFL officials are still using the 2017 to 2018 rule book in 2022. Anything you want to add, Nord? Or did that sum up the entire situation quite well?
Well, yeah. I mean, in close games where the officiating comes into major play like this.
And it was a 7-point game.
Yeah, when you have situations like this where it's the calls come into question because they're either bad, which in this case they're just bad.
Well, bad in this case would have been an improvement, because if they would have called no touchdown and stuck to it, that just would have been a bad call. But no,
Yeah.
they called it right. Then they fucked it up in watching the replay.
We've seen some hilarity and some ridiculousness across the years with officiating, especially since the mid 2000s.
In other words, the
And-
joke can be made. They called it right, then they looked at the replay and went, quick, fuck it up. That was close. We almost made a good call there.
Now, with the way the game was played by
Yeah.
both teams, okay,
You could
With the way the
make the
teams
case that
played-
both teams made mistakes. We're not disputing that on the field.
well, the point I was going to make is that if you're going to look at which team, especially in the stat book,
Yeah,
which team played better in the game, the Vikings played better.
true.
Okay, as far as I can
That's
tell.
true.
Now, the refs obviously handed them a W on this.
Yeah,
and that's the whole problem.
With
here.
that touchdown, it wouldn't have gone to overtime, and who knows? The Vikings might have still won. We don't know.
As we stated in our previous video, this game going to the Patriots would have been an underdog victory if the Patriots had won. So
Yeah,
the fact that the Vikings pulled off the W here is to actually be expected. It's kind of the expected outcome, but expected not the way it ended up happening.
yeah. The way it happening does not look good on the Vikings, the city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota in general, or the NFL as a fucking league at this point.
Especially after last week when the Vikings got destroyed
By the Cowboys, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so did you, motherfucker. Anyway.
But the Vikings unfortunately needed to win this game, because if they lost to the Cowboys badly and then lost to the Patriots, they'd actually be going in a very bad direction at that point.
Hold on, I have to say one more thing to the Bears blanket. You also got destroyed by the Vikings in week 1, so shut the fuck up. Anyway, you were saying?
The Vikings needed to win this game after last week's debacle. And so they managed to do it via ref help. And that sucks. They couldn't just win it by winning.
Yeah.
But the end result is that the Vikings keep on chugging along now, and are pretty well set for playoffs now.
Chugging along or cheating along?
We're chugging now. They're starting to be cheating. But anyway,
I had to fucking say it.
But I personally not going to be too offended if at the end of the day the Vikings end up making the Super Bowl, and Super Bowl's going to be here in Arizona this year. Super Bowl 57.
Yeah.
And I kind of just sort of would consider it very apropos if the Vikings end up winning the Super Bowl.
After this,
I would just find it very apropos. And now the team is not perfect. The team's got flaws. But if you look across the league, they are one of the most complete teams. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. They have every right and reason to end up going deep into the playoffs this year, if not pulling
and
off.
they don't have a reason to need to or should be winning with tainted victories like on Thursday night. The Vikings don't need that. They can win games. Look at how they beat fucking Buffalo.
Yeah, convincingly. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be getting buried by anyone like they got buried by the Cowboys. But they also shouldn't be winning non-convincing victories either, like you just said. So there is still some doubt about the Vikings to be had.
Which is why I said off stream that if the season ends now, the best team in football right now, people are going to disagree, and that's fine. Everyone has the right to have their own opinion. This is mine. It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, because the Eagles' defense continues to be leading the league, and the Philadelphia offense has
doing enough to win games.
Despite some troubles, they've done enough and continue to do enough to keep it up.
Yeah.
So
Outside of that one loss to the commies.
when we do get to the playoffs, this is the kind of setup for a year of upsets. So I won't be assuming anything.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of upsets going on in the playoffs this year. But
Yeah.
if there's no upsets, the Vikings versus the Eagles will be the game of the year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't end up being the Super Bowl, which, if my math is correct, is not actually possible, but
Yeah.
I'll have to check on that. But anyway, those two teams are the best two teams in football. Now, if they don't end up being the story, and somebody else does, then I'd be like, okay, well, that makes sense. They both struggled a bit. They both missed the mark a few times.
Mm-hmm.
It could happen. And then it would be maybe sort of bittersweet for somebody who's been struggling a bit, or sort of not making as many headlines and slips in and gets the Super Bowl win. I like stories like that too.
Yeah.
I like narratives, like that too.
Yeah. Same
But
here.
whatever it ends up being, I'm way less put off by this season so far than previous seasons. Previous seasons, I've been like, oh, here we go again. Patriots, Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. It's been that for decades. So, I mean, thankfully, we don't have this common, boring, bland, same shit over and over and over situation going on. At least it's interesting.
I feel like I liked last season more.
Oh, yeah, well, sure.
Than this one. Because at least last season, I wasn't getting on camera on YouTube the entire time going, the referees fucked it up again. Anyway, each and every fucking week. Although last year, we weren't doing this. Talking football on YouTube anyway. We were just enjoying the fucking sport as best we could with all of the woke nonsense last year. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as it is,
which it appears they've put on the back burner a bit.
Thankfully.
Can we just do football, guys, please?
Yeah.
Just do football.
And because we're just doing football, here we are complaining about the fucking referees for the 18th time, and it's only week fucking 11, 12, or whatever the fuck it is.
You can't fix the problems inherent to the game if you're too focused on outside events and politics, like they've been focused on. So it's good that they're not focusing on that anymore.
Hopefully they can hire people that actually know how to read a fucking rule book that's made for that fucking season, which so far they haven't.
They can bear down and say to themselves, okay, how do we fix the problems with the reffing? We need to come up with some solutions.
Can't believe I'm saying this on YouTube, but the replacement refs were fucking better. That's a fucking problem. Right?
Well, I don't know if I would go that far, but
at least they didn't know what to call things because
they had
training. At least then, one referee called a touchdown, staying right next to him, he was calling interception. That's at least better than calling a touchdown, looking at a replay and going, you know what, it's incomplete. At least the call on the field is, we don't know what the call is. That's a lot better than getting it right than fucking it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chaos was better than shitty calls, is what I'm saying. But anyway, enough about football. How is Ace Combat 7?
It's actually pretty good. It really does follow the previous titles.
For those that will be watching this later, or the one viewer that we got now, I sent Ace Combat 7 digitally to my brother for his birthday. So
sure,
that's what we're talking about.
The game is quite good. The styling is great. It's very photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
The storyline is, whatever. I don't usually care about storylines in games too much. Especially when it's just like, all about air combat. Um, One thing I will say is that it's a harder game than previous titles. It's more challenging. There's more things that you got to do right.
That's what Skill Up said on YouTube when that game came out, Ace Combat 7.
Yeah. Um, it's basically it's not the hardest game ever made. Obviously, it's nowhere near that, but
Dark Souls.
it's more complicated. Like when I played back on Ace Combat 04,
Mm-hmm.
I could get a handle on that and got a very good handle on it, to where I could play the end stuff and feel like I was having fun. Play the end game type stuff, the final missions and stuff, and feel like it was still fun.
Hey, hey, Red
But
Hood.
even the middle missions right now on Ace Combat on normal mode are a little bit kind of like pushing the edge for me. Like I'm a little rusty at the game, the series, than I thought I was. There are some things that it expects you to do that are kind of actually quite. You got to have some good skills to pull it off.
I got to cut you off quickly because there is something that you need to hear in the chat. Red Hood Winked is here, and she says, "Happy birthday, Nord."
Yeah, thank you.
And it's a little birthday cakes in the chat for you too. 2 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you, Red Hood, and enjoy the replay back of before you got here. If you missed, well, most of it because we've been live for about 47 minutes. There was a lot of fiery shit we talked about earlier, but as you were saying about Ace Combat.
So the thing I would say is that I'm a little bit into it now. I've played a bunch of it, and I probably would give it a 7 or 8. Certainly within the series, it's quite good. There's nothing much to complain about. It's exactly what you want if you were an Ace Combat fan.
Which you are.
Yeah, which I am. And it's challenging enough to where you're not like, just screaming F and throwing the remote. But it's
Fallout 76.
Yeah. But it's not so easy where you're like, what the hell? This is boring. I could do any of this easily. It's not like that either.
Yeah.
It's not too easy. It's not too hard. It's just, it's done right. It's a good game done right.
Yeah. Otherwise.
And, okay, granted, it's not as involved or as complex as, like, say, Flight Simulator 2020 or whatever, 2021 or whatever it was. It's not as complex as that, but it's exactly what Ace Combat fan would want. So it's an appreciated entry in the series.
Otherwise,
so that's what it
for
is.
me, gaming-wise, what I was working on yesterday was creating a couple of characters in WWE 2K22 for a feature stream. That if you guys are familiar with the Geeks and Gamers people, you might like some of these characters. Because what I had worked on, I created 3 people from Geeks and Gamers and then 1 person whom I respect and admire as a streamer and content creator. All right. Because what I did, and you guys will see them in a stream soon, I promise, on Twitch. Jeremy of Geeks and Gamers. And I've already had my character wrestling him in my own universe mode, and he beat my ass twice already. So I've gotten beat up by Jeremy already.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to laugh. Yeah. I created Krista Nova.
Yeah.
Minority Home, Stephanie, and Mara Jade.
Yeah.
So 3 Geeks and Gamers team members, and then Mara. It will be in my 2K Universe mode live stream playthrough on Twitch soon. and you guys will see what happens. And I'm gonna try to have the music really down low, so hopefully you can hear it a little. Because honestly, in wrestling games, entrance music is like half of the fucking gimmick and character, you know?
Yep.
So to not hear the music and the entrances kind of defeats like half of the fucking character's image, you know? And I'm actually quite proud of the entrances not so much for Jeremy's, because trying to figure out Jeremy is like trying to figure out a brick wall from my point of view. And I don't mean that in a degrading way. It's just that it's really hard to try to figure Jeremy out, you know? Bro?
Yep.
But in the case of Mara, Steph, and Krista, I'm very proud of their entrances and their ring gear that I made for them. So,
yeah.
So I look forward to showing those creations off in the stream, hopefully tomorrow, if I wind up getting around to it tomorrow. But as it is, anything else you've been up gaming related, or anything else that you want to talk about content wise? Since it's your day and everything.
There was the recent addition of the final portion of the High Isle chapter on ESO, which is the Galen archipelago and the island of Ithorlon.
Yes.
Which they put out.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. Yeah, you're Red Hood. I completely agree. Because Red Hood says in the chat, yeah, the wrestlers look funny when they enter without music. Yes, exactly. Music is half of the fucking thing, so. Like, case in point, my entrance music is Jeff Hardy's music, called No More Words, so.
Yeah, so,
but as it is.
They put out the final portion of the High Isle storyline. But what they did was they did something they don't usually do. I kind of disagree with it too. Where they put it out, they kind of almost told no one. And a lot of the players were caught completely off guard by it. Some knew ahead of time, sort of people in the know knew ahead of time. But then what they did was 48 hours after they released it, they put out another event, a new event, in the Western Skyrim and the Reach zones. So everybody had like 48 hours to go play in the new zone before they got pulled back to the old zones for the new event. It was kind of like something they don't usually do. Usually when they release a new DLC, which is what that was, they put an event in the new DLC and not somewhere else.
And people people wonder why I stick to the shit that I already have on my plate.
Yeah, it's pretty complicated, and it was a bit of a mess, honestly, because everybody was trying to multitask like 4 different things at once, but yeah, they made some changes recently, and yeah, I know they'll have another event starting in mid-December, which is the usual New Life Festival. But man, it's been chaotic on that game the last few weeks.
Beyond 2K, what else have I been fidgeting with? Oh, God of War Ragnarok is out. I played a little of that on the gaming channel a few days back.
Yeah, they also released that new Modern Warfare that everybody's gone crazy for.
Yeah. I'm not impressed by it whatsoever. From what I've seen of it.
Some people swear by it. I'm just like, whatever. Call of Duty has a place in my mind and a place in my gaming history, but playing it today, I feel like that's the equivalent of going in reverse. But whatever.
I'd rather fall in reverse anyway. Music reference. Falling in reverse, anyway.
But yeah, I'm not gonna go back to being a Call of Duty fan. I'm not gonna do that because I already moved on from it. So it's kind of like Assassin's Creed for me. I'm just past it at this point.
Yeah. Same here. Call of Duty hasn't meant anything since the campaign was decent, and that hasn't been the case for what, like 10 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
At least.
Well, yeah, because they're just like with other series, they've only made a lot of mistakes in the mid to late portions of the series, and it disgruntled a lot of fans, and left us with questions and wondering what the hell the future brings. And when that happens, you lose a player base, and then people move on to other things. And even if you do put out a good game at that point, it's not going to be near what it would have been otherwise. So.
Red Hood in the chat says, I'm still mad about how underwhelming Gotham Knights is. I was so hyped for that game. I was not interested in it because, first of all, Batman's on it. He's supposed to be dead, right? In a Gotham game, no Batman, no money from me. And secondly, I kind of got the feeling it was going to be woke anyway, so I wasn't going to waste my time anyway. And when I get a bad thing about something, I'm like, yeah, no. The same thing goes for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, no thanks. And Red Hood says she's so pissed. I completely understand about being pissed about something. We were talking about the NFL referees in the Thanksgiving night football game.
There's only one
kind. Get ready to watch that back later, Red Hood.
There's only one kind of Call of Duty game that gains popularity anymore, and it's the nostalgia bait type. Mm-hmm. Every other kind is a mistake and a walk back. A lot of people are like, basically just over it at this point. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm just over Call of Duty altogether. I'm like, even if they did put out a good game, I'd still be like, nah, whatever, don't care.
Yeah, same here. And then there's also the stupid bullshit that we're seeing coming up with Hogwarts Legacy at this point. I'm not interested in that bullshit anymore. Because evidently it's gonna be genderless, from what I'm hearing. So I'm out. You?
Yeah, I just not even a big fan to begin with, but
Well, yeah, Harry Potter, and the only reason I got into Harry Potter was from a previous girlfriend. So it is what it is. I was never a hardcore one. I just like certain characters. I have favorite characters. I have characters that I don't like because I have every movie in terms of the mainline Harry Potter flicks, at least.
Yeah, that's not that I would sit here and deny its cultural significance. Obviously, it's still there, but I'm not one of those people. So
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can also say this, that I'm not going to be covering the Callisto Protocol because I'm not going to have the money for it when it comes out in less than a week now. So, and plus, it's $70 fucking on next gen anyway, so fuck it. I'll wait for a fucking sale for the next gen version if I have to. At that point. Plus, I know Joshy wants to cover it on his channel, so he's free to. Joshy, if you see this, just go ahead, dude. Don't worry about me, man. Just go ahead and play it on your channel. But as it is, anything else that you're looking forward to or want to get your hands on playing that you haven't yet? Or if you prefer to change it from gaming to something else that you want to talk about, because it is your birthday, bro.
Oh no, I mean it's a valid question. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of just playing whatever comes along at this point. So,
or whatever I throw at your head, going here, play this. Right?
I was going to say a lot of people want to talk about Starfield, for instance.
I'm still kind of looking forward to it, even though there's like no information still.
Yeah. I mean,
Once
it's
again.
difficult to get excited about something with so much possibility and so little known.
Yeah. Otherwise, on December 12th, there's High on Life, but that's in Game Pass, so I'll be doing that.
Yeah.
A Plug Tale is kind of fun. Ish. If you're into story driven games like I am, which I know that you're not, Nord.
Yeah, I always said if I want to watch a movie, I'll watch a movie.
But
That's the way I see
so are you saying that you didn't like Knights of the Old Republic?
Knights of the Old Republic is not entirely storyline.
No, but there is a story
Knights
to
of the
it.
Old Republic has a lot of Knights of the Old Republic has a lot of free roam stuff to do.
And strategy, but there is one hell of a story to it, though, too.
Yeah. Well, that is a game that is one of the greats of all time, and set the precedent for a lot of other types of games, not just for other Star Wars titles, but for titles of all kinds.
So
the level of inspiration that game caused for other game developers is difficult to quantify, but it was a lot.
So, in other words, you like story-driven games on a case-by-case basis, not you don't like them outright.
Well, okay, I'll give you an extreme example. How about Death Stranding? I mean, to me, the problem there is that it's majority story and very little actual gaming going on.
Red Hood says it's a weird gum game is what she typed, and I read fucking gum. I read like drunk 3PO.
Yeah.
It's fuck it. I'm just gonna read it the way I initially read it. Fuck it. It's a weird gum, but fun to play.
Yeah.
It's a weird gum.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a good point. I mean, you can enjoy things, and I don't stop people from enjoying whatever they like to
Yeah.
enjoy. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, it's a shit game" or whatever. It's just like I don't care. That's all.
That's fair, but I was trying to make you admit to a narrative that is probably more accurate. That the narrative the game thing is on a case by case basis, and not that you don't like them outright, because that's not entirely accurate.
It takes a stronger lore background for me to get into it if it's a story based game.
Yeah. Yes, Red Hood, I know that you were also talking about Knights of the Old Republic, because we were too. And yes, weird gum, yes, I read as well as drunk 3PO, proving that I am his internet son.
Knights of the Old Republic is one of the greatest games that's been made in our lifetimes.
Yeah, I remember, let's see, I don't remember the exact date it came out, but I know that it came out in 2003. I was in high school at that point, still. And then the following year, 2004, was when its sequel, KOTOR 2, came out. So in 2003, if it was during the school year, I would have been, I think, a junior, and then I think a senior when its sequel came out then at that point. So either way, I would have been in high school when those games came out on the original Xbox. And I didn't get into playing them till I had gotten an original Xbox, which was about a year after high school. So it would have been like 2005 going into 2006 at that point when I finally got to play those. And some of my fondest memories of playing Knights of the Old Republic was right before going to work at the store, like when I was in my early to mid-20s, sitting in the living room like at 1 o'clock in the morning, playing Knights of the Old Republic. Dad waking up going, "What the hell are you doing in the living room?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to be at work like in an hour." And then going back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, So yeah, as usual, some of my fondest memories of playing a game involve Dad.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, what a surprise! Even if Dad wasn't playing it, he was just going, "Why are you up?" Oh yeah, I remember. You have a job that you have to go do soon, but as it is. Uh, any non-gaming topics that leap out to you that we haven't covered that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, it's just.
And you start getting ready to go out to eat in a few hours with our family, right?
Yeah. That is the plan.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to mention. There's always it's always interesting, and look forward to things. Year older and all that.
Yeah.
But
we're both in our 30s these days.
yeah, well,
at least
already been the case, but
at least for 2 more years.
Yeah, you'll be exiting 30s, hitting 40.
Yes, in a couple of years, yeah. And
mm-hmm.
Actually, coincidentally, when we go to vote in 2024, I'll be 40 at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll be old. Wait, how old was Obama when he became president? He was 42, wasn't he?
I thought he was 44.
Well,
I could look.
Well, I at that point would be close to how old he was when he became president. Whom was I think the youngest, right?
Barack was 47 when he started being president.
Oh, well, 7 years off, but still not far off compared to the most age of most presidents at that point, right?
Theodore Roosevelt took the presidency at 42.
Oh, so Theodore Roosevelt was the youngest in history. What the fuck was the mainstream media talking about then?
But no, up to John Kennedy. Okay, then John Kennedy happened. And John Kennedy was 43 and 7 months, which was just shy, as in just younger, than Theodore.
Either way, the mainstream media was claiming, correct me if I'm wrong, that Obama was the youngest, right? At the time?
Well, I don't know who claimed that, but they were drinking.
Because
not only was he not the youngest, he wasn't even the second youngest.
Because I swear, I heard the mainstream media trying to make that claim that he was the youngest president of all time, which I believed at the time was false, and now you just proved it. But then
even if I had been correct calling him 44, that still wouldn't have been the youngest.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't, because he was 47. So, yeah. Well, on the other end of things, we do have the oldest president ever currently.
Yeah, the one that's in the Oval Office right now, shitting his pants as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember them trying to claim that. Yeah. You see, even Red Hood remembers something like that. You see, I'm not fucking nuts. Thank you, Red Hood.
Yeah, they made a lot of claims, you know.
Yeah. Mainstream media lying. What a fucking surprise.
That was always the insinuation anyway, so the fact that it's burned in people's memory that way is no surprise.
Yeah, lies usually burn into my memory faster than the fucking truth these days, because you're like, yep, that's another fucking lie. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then the truth happens and I don't remember it. Most of the time. Kind of like NFL referees doing their job right the first time. I don't remember any of it. I remember when they fuck up. Same thing. You don't remember the good shit. You remember the bad shit because it scars you. But either way, we should check on Joshua to see if he's still alive.
Yeah, I talked to him. I think it was yesterday. I talked to him.
Yeah,
He was
because
just getting into the new games that came out.
okay. Well, let's see. Is he online? He was earlier. Looking at something. Yeah, he was on like 10 minutes ago. I guess he fell asleep again. Anyway, Joshy, if you see this, I hope you had a good sleep, brother. Anyway, MSM always MSM MSN. It says MSM in the chat.
No, MSM is probably what they meant because that stands for mainstream media.
Okay. Well, I thought Reddit was trying to say MSNBC and MSN.
No. MSM is the acronym.
Whatever. Mainstream media always lies. We're just now realizing it on a daily basis. Well, I figured they were lying for years because, like I said before, I got blackpilled in 2012. So that was 10 fucking years ago. So this has been 10 years of bitterness against the mainstream media for me.
Yeah.
Hence why for the last 10 years going into 2020, I've largely ignored fucking politics and bullshit and just stuck to playing games and minding my own fucking business because that's what I prefer doing.
Yeah.
But then along comes Desert Nord. We start doing this together, and then he drags me into the political rabbit hole going, fuck, here we go again.
Yeah, whatever. It's always worth paying attention to, even if it isn't.
I know it is. I know, and I do pay attention to it, but I'd rather oh, well, that sucks. Let's play some Madden.
Yeah.
Which isn't the best game to be playing, because that's glitchy as fuck and fucking bullshit, too. But as it is. Sorry, I thought you knew that, Drew. My bad. We're just... Well... First of all, you didn't realize it until 2016. Yeah, I realized it in fucking 2012. And no worries, Red Hood. I'm not sure what you're apologizing that you thought that I knew. But as it is, like I said, I got red pilled in 2012 during the re-election of Obama when I voted for Senator Ron Paul. And I'm proud of that as much as Jeremy is proud to say from the rooftops that he voted for Trump. Both times. Oh, the mainstream media thing. Oh, well. Anagrams, a lot of them make sense, and then some that I like the MSM one, I know I've seen before. I know I should know what it means. I know what it means. I just don't remember shit. Like I've said to someone at work this morning when I was recounting play for play what happened in the Patriots-Vikings game, and I don't know how I fucking remembered it. And then also talking about your birthday and remembering all the details of watching you be born, Rob. And the team member I was talking to was like, you have a really good memory. I'm like, well, a selectively good one. I don't remember what happened yesterday.
It's good on some things, bad on others.
In the distant past, it's really good. But yesterday, fuck if I know what I did. I don't know where I've been. I probably will in 10 years of where I was yesterday, but not now. But anyway, what are you going to be up to after this? Well, what the fuck am I talking about? I know what you're doing. You're going out to eat with the family. You're going to celebrate your birthday. Why did I even ask?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. In a couple hours here. Yep.
Yeah. I usually ask because normally it's something like, well, I'm going to play Elder Scrolls Online. I'm going to go see what Razor Fist did on his channel. Not really today, right?
Well, I think he had a new video. Yeah, I think he did have a new video.
Yeah, he did something about something that I probably will check out too, because we both love Razor Fist.
Oh yeah.
Selective memory. I don't know if it's selective. That's probably accurate. It's bad short-term memory, good long-term memory. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, possibly.
But anyway, yeah. Because like I said, I remember right up until when Desert Nord went to the hospital after being born at home. I don't remember what happened after that or when he came back from the hospital. And the only thing I know of my birth was the pictures. And that was of me in a hospital bed. So I was born in a hospital. Nord and our sister were born at home. In other words, I was born at the facility where they could experiment on my tiny brain. And my sister and brother were born at home, and then Nord got shipped off to the hospital to get experimented on.
Those weren't experiments.
I know, but let me have my joke.
Yeah.
Azarian Francis, hello. Yes, Red Hood. Welcome to the underground, where I make fucked up jokes about myself and my own brother.
No.
But as it is, I'm gonna lay down at some point, hopefully before talking Pedheads on Jet's channel, which is at 5:00 in the evening. It's about 1:20 now, my time. So that's in 3.5 hours from now. So yeah, I'm gonna take a nap before that. You guys will hopefully see me if I can get up in time on Jet Sparks 373's channel for talking Pinheads later. Because I usually try to pop into his open mic things for that on Saturdays as well, each and every time. After that, we'll see what kind of energy I have, if I have any tonight. I want to try to go live on Twitch. Well, either live on Twitch to do the WWE thing that I was talking about earlier, or go live on the gaming channel on YouTube to do some more God of War, which I need to be doing because I've only played like 40 minutes of that so far, which isn't much. But beyond that, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Nope, I do not have anything else.
So go subscribe to Desert Nord on YouTube. He does basically political memes is all you do, right? At this point.
Yeah, well, so far, yeah, pretty much.
And then you did a couple about my gaming exploits and ours together, like in Gang Beasts.
Sure.
As well on your channel. Yeah, so you'll find one of him making fun of my flying skills over on his channel. Also, subscribe to Drudat Underground Gaming on YouTube, where I play PlayStation games like God of War Ragnarok. You can go follow the Twitch channel of Drudat Underground Gams, as it's currently misspelled for like another 6 days or so. That's DREWDAT and then Underground and then GAMS. Over on Twitch, where I play Xbox games over there, like I will be soon for WWE 2K22 again, Skyrim, and everything else that I do on Xbox. Follow me on Twitter at dat_Drew, under the name of Drew.IceWolf over on Twitter. You can find Desert Nord on Twitter as Desert Nord 26, right?
Mm-hmm. That's my yep.
Yep. And yeah, that pretty much covers that. I'll see you guys hopefully on Jet Sparks 373's YouTube channel later for Talking Pinheads. So go subscribe to his channel. You'll see me talking about whatever Jet has in store today. I never know until I get on there. And I like surprises, so. But as it is, Thank you, Red Hood, Azeri, and Francis. Hope I said that right. For being here. I appreciate both of you very, very much, and everyone else that has popped in that didn't say anything in the chat to watch. Thank you for doing so. For those of you that will watch this later, enjoy the replay, and I will see you guys over on Jet's channel later. Hopefully, I get up in time. And hopefully tonight, if I have the energy for something on either Twitch or the main YouTube channel of Drudat Underground Gaming. If not, then you'll definitely see me on one of those two channels tomorrow of mine for something instead of tonight if I just wind up passing out after talking pinheads later. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Happy birthday, bro.
Yep. Thanks, bro.
And
thanks, everybody, for showing up, too.
Yep. And above all else, remember one thing and one thing only. And there's always two versions of it. Right, Nord?
Yeah, there is.
Well, do you want to do the clean or the dirty version this time?
Well, I always do Let's Go Brandon, don't I?
Yeah. So then you want to do the clean version?
Yeah. I always do.
Well,
Let's Go Brandon, of course. Yeah, so let's go Brandon.
Fuck Joe Biden. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.